I am pleased to have two different Ball watches in front of the camera today. It's been a couple years since I've heavily featured Ball on the channel, but it's a Swiss brand that I believe brings a strong value game to the watch market. And in this specific video, I'd like to showcase the Roadmaster Marine GMT. You can see it next to the Pilot GMT, but we're going to talk about the Marine GMT today. This one retails at $3,250. It will be limited to 1,000 pieces in this specific color iteration. And the nice thing is you have the ability to select your desired limited edition number via the website, their e-commerce website. And I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. Now I'll begin the review by talking about the important specifications. This sports piece is crafted out of titanium. I do not know the grade of titanium, but we have a titanium case, a titanium bracelet, and a stainless steel clasp in the bracelet. If you have all of the links attached, this will weigh in at 160 grams, and the watch will carry 200 meters of water resistance. There is a signed screw down crown at the 3 o'clock, and you'll notice two different pump style pushers on the other side of the case. Those will engage your GMT hand. You can bump it externally without hacking the balance at all with these pushers. So the top pusher at the 10 o'clock will bump that GMT hand forward by 1 hour intervals, and then the one at the 8 o'clock position on the bottom portion of the case will bump it in the other direction. So that's interesting. That is patented technology that Ball has developed, and I think it's very sharp. The function pushers will be lockable, so you can move them clockwise, and it will lock them into position to ensure that 200 meters of water resistance. Now, here's something that I think is a highlight of every Ball watch. They do this with every one of their releases. We have tritium gas tubes. We have triatomic hydrogen gas tubes on the dial. They will constantly emit a low light. So in low light situations or no light situations, you have that emittance. It's not quite as bright as fully charged superluminova or lumebright, but unlike luminescent formula or compounds, this will not degrade as the night progresses. So you have a constant look. And with the bicolor application, it really looks sharp, especially when you consider the lumed ceramic bezel insert. This is so satisfying and so functional in low light or no light situations. Now, continuing with the specs, we have a sapphire crystal with very satisfying anti-reflective treatment. We have a bidirectional rotating ceramic bezel. This rotates in 1 hour intervals. And again, the indexing will be lumed. The movement within the case is a COSC certified Solida-based movement with a dual time function. So this is not technically a true GMT because you're not moving the local hour hand, you're moving the jumping GMT hand. The Pilot version here on the desk, this one's a true GMT. This one that I'm featuring here, the Marine GMT, is a little bit different, but we do have anti-magnetic properties to 4,800 amperes per meter and a very high threshold for shock resistance of 5,000 Gs. So it's a very robust, very well dialed in Solida-based movement that you can view through an exhibition crystal with sharp finish work. And this will carry 38 hours of power reserve and the day and date complications on the 3 o'clock side of the dial. Now, I think this has a very nice fit on wrist. My wrists are 7.25 inches in circumference. I would recommend this to be very comfortable if you have 7 inches or higher wrist circumference. If you have sub 7 inches, it might feel a little bit dominant, a little bit heavy because we have a long effective lug-to-lug dimension that can make it difficult for those of you that have smaller wrists to pull off in comfort that effective lug-to-lug dimension. Going to the extremity of the center link of the connecting link here will be 57.5 millimeters. So if you have smaller wrists, you'll probably need to take this off the bracelet and wear it on a rubber strap or a leather strap. But other than that, it's a substantial watch, but it doesn't feel too dominant or too top heavy. It's not too large. It really is comfortable, and I think that comfort is aided by the fact that we have titanium construction. Now, talking about the bracelet, this has a very nice drape and flow, a good connection into the case. There is screw pin connectors connecting the links together, and we have full articulation in the links. Ball will include 2 half links so you can dial in the fit, but you have no micro adjustment here in the butterfly clasp that will be constructed out of stainless steel. The clasp is nice. We have a signature on one end of the swing arm, and overall I think this has a seamless look on wrist with a satisfying level of rigidity, but still carrying a little bit of lateral flexibility for comfort. Overall, my favorite features are the awesome triatomic hydrogen gas tubes for low light mixed with the superluminova in the lumed ceramic bezel insert. Again, I like this bracelet and case connection, how that tapers, how this looks on my wrist. Again, I think you'll have a very satisfying experience if you have 7-inch or higher sized wrists when it comes to the bracelet. And one of the underrated features that I find myself really wanting in sports pieces is anti-reflective treatment. And again, this one has very satisfying, very well applied anti-reflective treatment on the sapphire crystal. My concerns, I've mentioned, we have a long effective lug-to-lug dimension on the bracelet, and the power reserve on this COSC certified movement is rather short or rather pedestrian when you compare it to other modern calibers from competitors from other brands. But overall, it is an impressive sports watch. I think this would be ideal to wear in an everyday type situation. And if I had to answer the question, is this worth it to a watch enthusiast? I would say yes. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching today. Please reach out with any questions, any comments, and thank you to Ball Watches in Switzerland for sending in this beautiful Marine GMT as well as the Pilot GMT from the Roadmaster family. Links will be in the description. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.